Chapter 31, Ling Family Iron Hand. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ling Tai's hand is here. He and Ling Feng are the fastest disciples in the elite hall ranking this time. 4th place, gee, this year's debut is expected to shine. I don't know if it will be Ling Yiheng's opponent. The first Ling Yiheng, the second Ling Xiao, the third Ling Feng, and the fourth Ling Tai. These four are all here. It seems that Mr. Ling is out of the customs, and they don't want to miss it. Of course, if you can be taken by Mr. Ling and accepted as a disciple, then it will surely go upright. Following the eyes of everyone, Ling Xiao saw a smiling, gentle-looking boy. The man's face was humble, but there was a fierce warfare and arrogance in his eyes. Huh? Isn't that Ling Chong? Is this Ling Tai's hand the cousin of Ling Chong? Ling Xiao knew that Ling Chong had a terrible cousin, but he had never seen it. However, at this time, seeing Ling Chong followed Ling Tai's hands like a follower, if he could not guess who this person was, he would be too stupid. Ling Xiao saw Ling Chong also saw Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao. I didn't expect you to dare to show up. That when Ling Chong saw Ling Xiao, his anger couldn't help himself, and he roared at Ling Xiao. His roar attracted many people's eyes. Joke, I'm a disciple of the Ling family, and Mr. Ling is out of the border. Why don't I dare show up? Ling Xiao said disdainfully. Cousin, it was this who hurt me with despicable means. Ling Chong originally wanted to rush over, but when he thought of losing to Ling Xiao 2 times at the beginning, he instantly lost his nerve and said to Ling Tai, who was on the side. Oh, Your Excellency is brother Ling Xiao. Ling Tai's hand showed a disdainful smile, and then lifted his foot to Ling Xiao. Brother Iron Hand. Ling Xiao gongdao. Hey, Ling Xiao has been very lively these days, but when he met Ling Tai, he was as good as his grandson. That's right, this guy picked up a bargain in the Fulong mountain range, which made our Lings have no face, and their good reputation didn't spread. The notoriety is far away. I don't think so. Is Li's word so credible? It's not that the Li family's words are credible, but that normally, with the strength of Ling Xiao's kid, there is no second possibility other than picking up bargains. That's the truth. Today Ling Xiao is going to be unlucky. He just knelt down and apologized. It is estimated that Ling Tai's hands will not spare him. After all, Ling Chong was so miserable. There was a lot of talk in the crowd. Generally, I don't see Ling Xiao very much. In the end, I still can't look down on Ling Xiao's strength. At this time, even the top 10 disciples in the elite hall noticed the situation here. Ling Tai's hand is not Ling Chong. He is now ranked 4th in the elite hall. If Ling Xiao can beat Ling Tai's hand, that is simply impossible. No one will believe it, so more people are gloating. There are also some people who have nothing to do with themselves and just look lively. The number 1 Ling Yiheng seemed indifferent to the battle, meditating there with his eyes closed. Ling Xiao was obviously a little worried about Ling Xiao, and Ling Feng, ranked 3rd, showed an expression of gloating. Ling Ting is too clear about Ling Tai's hands. Even he dare not say that he can win. As for Ling Xiao, how is that possible? Ling Yu, who was standing beside Ling Feng, actually clapped and smiled and said, He, this Xiao Xiao broke through the double of Wu Mai by picking up cheap, and it is not arrogant. Today, someone can finally teach this little beggar. She may be the one who least wants Ling Xiao to rise. Otherwise, she said nothing on her face. When she thought of bullying Ling Xiao once, she was afraid that Ling Xiao would retaliate. Hey, Ling Xiao, aren't you great? How come you are so obedient today? Are you afraid? Ling Chong said with a smile, Unfortunately, my cousin is here today, and your kid's day is over. Senior brother, as the so-called friend should be settled or not settled, it is better to kneel down and apologize. This matter will be over. Ling Tai walked in front of Ling Xiao, and suddenly a momentum was suddenly released, so that several disciples around Ling Xiao could not help but step back a few steps, for fear of being affected. Kneel down. Apologize? Everyone can hear that Ling Tai is exerting pressure. It's really insulting to let a person kneel down and apologize. What will Ling Xiao do? Did you listen to Ling Tai? Still ready to be beaten. Senior brother, you are right. It is the so-called friend that should be resolved and not settled. If Ling Chong is willing to kneel down and apologize to me, I should not have happened today. Ling Xiao smiled in a hurry. Suddenly, there was also a surge of momentum. The true qi of Wumai Triple was circulated in the body, as if suddenly a person had changed. Ling Xiao is looking for death. No, how did he break through the Wumai Triple? Ling Feng was about to ridicule Ling Xiao for not knowing his life or death, but suddenly felt Ling Xiao's powerful momentum and could not help changing his face. Ling Yu, who was standing beside him, even shivered. Too fast. Too frightening. How is this practiced? Oh, no wonder it's so bold. It turned out to be a breakthrough, but don't this kid understand, even if they are all three-line martial arts, there is a big gap between people and people. Ling Feng seemed overwhelmed, so he found an excuse to comfort himself. Brother Ling Feng said this is good, both the actual combat experience and the accumulation of true energy are important, and the level of martial arts. Don't forget, Ling Tai hands have advanced martial arts. Almost bluffed, so it looks like Ling Xiao is a paper tiger. Have you heard Ling Xiao? You are not my opponent. Today, Mr. Ling is out of customs. I don't want to make you too ugly. Obediently apologize, maybe we can be friends in the future. Ling Tai's hands were also a little surprised by Ling Xiao's strength, but he calmed down after a while. It has been a long time since I broke through the triple peak of the martial arts, and it has been 2 years since I practiced the advanced martial arts Julan God Palm. It's still easy to deal with someone who has just broken through. Don't talk too much nonsense, you don't have to pretend to be honest. Lao Tzu is the most annoying of you hypocrite, and want to avenge your cousin, come directly, whoever is ugly, really may not. Since he met Li Xingyun, he became even more hostile to hypocrite. The gang looked superficial and justly pretended to be fair. Yu reading www.yuyukeungshu.com is actually a bad belly. Ling Tai's face was very ugly. Okay. Very good. Since you dare to say this, it means that you are ready to accept my thunder anger. So much nonsense. Ling Xiao rubbed his ears and said, Senior Ling is about to leave the border, I don't have time to spend with you, I want to take revenge. Hurry up. Ha ha ha, interesting. Interesting. Even in the elite hall, no one dared to talk to me like that. In the laughter of Ling Tai's hands, there was a bit of awful color. 10 strokes. Within 10 strokes, I will let you kneel here and apologize. I'm afraid you don't have that ability. Ling Xiao said lightly. Just try and you will find out. Chapter 32, Die by Yourself. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ling Tai's hand snorted coldly, and his breath suddenly became stronger, faintly, as if he could see the shadow of a giant behind him. The violent momentum is the true meaning of the palm of the giant spirit. Good momentum, much stronger than the Ling Chong waist. Ling Xiao's spirit was shocked, and I have to say that Ling Tai's hands were indeed powerful. Standing on the opposite side, Ling Xiao could obviously feel a tremendous pressure on his face. This is absolutely impossible for Ling Chong. Giant divine palm, first form. Ling Tai stepped out of his hands and feet, and then his palms exploded, his figure moved with it, and he quickly approached Ling Xiao. The palm rushed to the face, even making people breathless. Just the first form, this Ling Tai hand show. It is several times stronger than Ling Chong, but his Ling Xiao is no longer the heavy waist of the old martial arts. With a gentle step under his feet, his body retreated quickly. Ling Tai's palm was so fierce that he didn't want to hit it hard. After all, it's very close to the year of the year's Dobby. He doesn't need to expose his full strength at this time. As long as it can sustain 10 strokes, it is enough. Hao Juan's light work. Ling Tai's hand is not weak. Ling Xiao kept retreating, trying to avoid Ling Tai's palm, but the opponent was obviously not a vegetarian, and he slammed hard under his feet, and his speed was increased by 2 or 3 times, which directly forced him up. Great! This is the strength of the 4th place in the elite hall, really good. Ling Xiao was a little surprised. Although he didn't use mountain and river martial souls, he didn't use cow magic, he just used Xiangyunbu to avoid attacks. but to be able to force him to this level. Ling Tai's hand is really a bit capable. Sometimes Ling Xiao even feels that she is not facing Ling Tai, but a giant. Hey, just push your full strength. Thinking of this, Ling Xiao raised his true energy, running the Xuanhuan 3-step sky, and the speed increased again. Boom! After all, Ling Tieho's fist failed to hit Ling Xiao, and he directly hit the ground. The stone brick that was 1 foot thick was cracked directly. Ha ha ha, brother Iron Hand, I'm here, don't get through the bricks. Ling Tai was unlucky, knowing that brute force might not win, so he immediately adopted other fighting methods. The 9th form of the giant palm of the gods, Tian Luo Di Wang, that this trick was on display, and the sky was full of palms, as if there were no flaws. Ling Xiao could not help but take a breath of breath, hurriedly again to increase the use of true qi, running Xuanhuan for 5 steps, the speed increased again, so there was a weird scene. Ling Tai's hands kept chasing, and then palm shadows enveloped Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao flew around like a cunning swift. I have the ability to fight face to face, what is it to run around? Seeing this, Ling Chong was gritted his teeth. Joke, when he can touch my clothes, I will face him face to face, my advantage is body style, why not? Ling Xiao is now trying to create an illusion for everyone, except that he is very general except for his powerful body style. Anyway, the competition with Ling Fei, coupled with the so-called cheap picking in the Fulong Mountains, is absolutely impossible without a good body, so if he does this, he will surely convince everyone. He even has leisurely talk, this guy's body style, I am afraid it is even better than Ling Fei. Yeah, there are already 6 strokes. Ling Tai's hands haven't touched his clothes yet. The disciples and the family exclaimed. What should I do, Brother Feng, how could this little beggar be so powerful? Ling Yu was obviously flustered. What are you afraid of? Just what is the use of body style? There are many ways to deal with body style, otherwise Ling Fei has already become the elite hall first. Although Ling Feng said so in his mouth, he was also a little nervous. Ling Xiao's progress made him feel like he was being stared at, very uncomfortable, to say the most. Panic. It must be Ling Chong. He originally thought that as long as his cousin went out, a guy like Ling Xiao would definitely be able to take it easily, 10 tricks are not needed at all, but now, the 6 strokes have passed, but his cousin didn't even hurt Ling Xiao's hair, which really surprised him. In this kind of chasing after you, I soon reached the 7th move. You are amazing. Really amazing. But it would be useless to hide. Ling Tai's hand suddenly stopped during the 7th move, and then made a weird gesture. Brother Feng, what is Ling Tai doing? That's the secret technique that Ling Tai's hands master, instant strike. Blink? Yes, you can increase the speed by more than 10 times in an instant, and it is specifically used to deal with speed opponents. I have learned before, and almost fell under this trick. Ling Xiao will definitely be finished this time. After Ling Feng finished speaking, he smiled, and he wanted to see the scene where Ling Xiao was slammed on the ground. Instant strike, giant spirit palm. As the true energy accumulated in Ling Tai's hands to a certain extent, he seemed to flew out suddenly, because the speed is too fast, it looks like an instant, that's why it's called instant strike. Too late to think about it, Ling Xiao, who felt a huge threat, once again raised Xuanhuan to 6 steps. His speed has also suddenly increased several times. Not hit. God, what kind of body style does Ling Xiao cultivate in the end? This speed is too fast. Is it a high-level body style? Come again. 10% of the power is instantaneous. Ling Tai didn't give up. Although he used the instant strike, he only used 7 success forces because he wanted to have a follow-up attack, but because he didn't hit him, he was annoyed and used 10 success forces directly. Ling Tai, this is really annoying. However, if he fails to attack this way, his true energy will be exhausted, and then he can only be passively beaten. I think that Ling Xiao has reached its limit. This move is the 9th move, and it should be possible to determine the winner. Xiang Yunbu Hua Jiao. Ling Xiao can feel that if he does not continue to increase the speed of Xianjianbu, he will definitely be hit. so he decisively used the body style that had just broken through. At that moment, his whole person seemed to turn into a dragon, and the whole sky was his ocean. He actually avoided Ling Xiao's attack with a movement that could hardly be described, then stood firmly on the ground. By this time, Ling Tai's hands had collapsed to the ground. www.wuxiaspot.com panting, pale. 10th move. You lost. Although Ling Xiao also consumes heavily, it is much better than Ling Tai. He walked over to Ling Tai's hand and patted on Ling Tai's face gently. The elite hall is 4th, but that's the case. You. Ling Tai breathed fire in his eyes, but he was helpless. In fact, he is still too anxious. If it is not the continuous use of secret methods to snapshot, it will definitely not be like this, but there is no regret medicine in this world. If you lose, you lose. To be honest, if Ling Tai's hands can calm down, it is really difficult for Ling Xiao to win him, unless all the skills are used. But who made Ling Tai's hand attempt to defeat Ling Xiao with a single blow? In this scene, countless children of the Ling family were stunned. Chapter 33, Ling Family Patriarch. You are listening at novelfull.audio. How could this Ling Xiao become so powerful? All know Ling Xiao. People who have mocked and disdained Ling Xiao, all of them were embarrassed, dumbfounded, and terrified. They could not believe that Ling Xiao actually won the 4th place in the elite hall. Ling Tai. How can that be? Ling Chon was so scared that he knelt directly on the ground. He was afraid that Ling Xiao would come over to find his trouble. At that time, no one here could help him. Relax, I generally have no interest in waste. Ling Xiao looked at Ling Chong kneeling on the ground disdainfully. This man who used to bully and humiliate himself almost every day now kneeled in front of him. He was extremely proud and excited. Sure enough, his dignity can be recovered. Waste. Ling Chong felt bitterness in his heart. He thought that he often said these 2 words to Ling Xiao himself. Now it is reversed. Brother Feng, what should I do? He won. He actually won Ling Tai's hand. He will definitely come to me for revenge. Ling Yu hadn't looked like a proud princess long ago, and she was trembling all over, and her eyes were full of fear. Although Ling Xiao didn't even look at her at all, she was still terrified. This is probably the so-called guilty conscience. Humph, that's Ling Tai's own stupidity. Ling Feng was also a little nervous in his expression, but he could always find a reason to comfort himself. If it weren't for Ling Tai's force to use the instant strike secret method, it would have exhausted the true energy, and the last loser would definitely be that Ling Xiao. Sister Rain, you don't need to be afraid. I will soon understand the trick of turning Qi into Gang, waiting for condensing Gang. You can kill him in 1 move. Yeah. Brother Feng, you are right. He is also a man of great strength, and he has almost no attack. Hearing Ling Feng's words, Ling Yu was relieved, and his hands clasped Ling Feng's arm tightly. All she can rely on now is Ling Feng. If Ling Feng is not Ling Xiao's opponent, then she really has no backing. Ling Yihang, who had always closed his eyes, suddenly opened his eyes, and a smile appeared slightly in the corner of his mouth, and said lightly, Yishue, you and I are afraid of meeting a real challenger. In his eyesight, only Ling Yishue was qualified to challenge him in the entire elite hall. Now there is another Ling Xiao suspected of possibly challenging him. Brother, you're too polite. I'm far worse than you, but this Ling Xiao is really progressing fast. If he can master the method of turning Qi into Gang, he will really be able to threaten you, brother. Ling Yishue's eyes flashed. She knew that Ling Yihang was the only disciple in the entire elite hall who had mastered the Qi. Master Ling is out. Just when everyone was talking about it, and they were all inexplicably surprised at Ling Xiao's strengthening, a voice rang out. The noise stopped immediately. Everyone's attention was put forward. That's where Mr. Ling closed. Boom. A strong breath spit out from behind the stone gate, and a sturdy old man wearing a coarse cloth and a strong outfit walked out of the stone room. He is obviously 60 or 70 years old, but he walks on the road but is not like the old man. Is this Mr. Ling, one of the 4 masters of Tianfeng City? The patriarch of the Ling family. Ling Xiao was also excited. He looked up and saw that Wu Shanha suddenly turned around, attempting to see through Mr. Ling's cultivation behavior. However, in the display, it was like a blade of strength. The difference in strength is too great, and Wu Wushuan cannot analyze the information of Mr. Ling. Ling's real name is Ling Xiao. At that time, one person went into the lair of the black scarf thief alone, strangling hundreds of black scarf thieves and killing a black scarf thief leader. So far, this story is still circulating in Tianfeng City. The black scarf thief hated Ling Xiao, but he dared not come to move the Ling family because of his existence. Ling Xiaotian's eyes suddenly looked at the audience. This momentum forced many disciples to kneel on the ground suddenly, and the body could not control it at all. The invisible momentum of this force was really terrifying. Of course, there are a few people standing there. The two people who came from Tian Kai Tang still had smiles on their faces. This momentum, they had already been taught, as long as they had qi in their bodies, they would not be affected. Master Ling is trying to test the strength of his disciples. There are 4 others standing, one Ling Yihang, his face pale, a Ling Yishue, frowning slightly, a Ling Feng, leaning on the ground with a long sword, then controlled his body, the other is Ling Xiao. When he felt that his body was about to bear, the coercion was easily resolved by Xuanhuan, so he seemed even more relaxed than Ling Yishue. It's amazing. Is this the strength of the strongest person in Tianfeng City? When will we reach his level? Don't think about it, Grandpa Ling's strength is not so easy to achieve. Let's honestly condense the gas first. Although kneeling on the ground, the disciples were not dissatisfied, but full of yearning and expectation, full of awe and admiration. The quadruple martial arts, the stage of qi, and the title of martial arts are the dreams of countless warriors in the Northern Han dynasty and the whole world. Once, this expectation was nothing but Ling Xiao's dream, but now, after learning that Wumai Zhezhong actually has extraordinary Zhezhong, his mentality has changed dramatically, and his horizons have become wider. Wumai's fourfold is just a springboard for him, a short-term goal. His dream now is to enter the extraordinary realm. Your disciples this year are the worst that the husband has ever seen. Ling Xiaotian suddenly spoke. Hey, this is the old man again. The 2 disciples in Tiankating couldn't help laughing. Yeah, we said that at that time. In fact, this session is really amazing. There are actually 4 people who have withstood the pressure of his old man. Yes, the old man is actually very happy. As they were saying, they suddenly felt the gaze from Ling Xiaotian's warning, hurriedly spit out their tongues, and quickly closed their mouths. Ling Xiaotian continued, as everyone knows, Wumai Zhezhong can be divided into 3 stages: the awakening stage, the ganglion stage, and the blasting stage. You can get the title of Wusheng, Wufu, Wusher. Although his voice is not loud, but its penetrating power is very strong, even if it is hundreds of meters away from you. Reading www.uukangshu.com, it can be heard clearly. Ling's words can only be regarded as common sense, but all the children of the Ling family, as long as they practice martial arts, know it. Awakening stage, mainly to exercise the body, condense the true energy, and lay a solid foundation in order to practice stronger. Martial arts, gang stage, the true qi has condensed to a certain degree, and the body can no longer accommodate it. At this time, it is necessary to condense the true qi and turn it into gang qi, which is more pure, and can hurt people from the air far more than true gas. Explosion stage, although there is no fundamental change in the energy in the body, it is still qi, but the qi reserves at this time are far from comparable before. At this time, the focus is on training the more powerful martial arts. The qi moment. When an attack breaks out, one person can easily resist 10,000 people, and it is possible to destroy a village with one punch. It is recorded in many books that the warrior at the pinnacle of Wumai Zhezhong often used one person against the enemy alone, and it was normal to kill 10,000 people easily. Once cultivated to this state, basically in the eyes of secular warriors, it is already invincible. Chapter 34, Turning Gas into Gang. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You are here today to welcome the old man out of the customs. It is obviously not appropriate to give you nothing. Hearing this, everyone was stunned and couldn't help but be surprised. Mr. Ling is going to send them things, which will definitely not be ordinary things. Ling Xiao was also excited, and today it seemed to be right. Not only did she shame herself and defeated Ling Tai, making everyone dare not look down upon him, but she could also get a reward from Mr. Ling. This is really wonderful. Pick it up. Ling Xiaotian suddenly screamed, and his body shot a countless amount of white light, and then fell into the body of all the children of the Ling family at the scene. This is a trace of qi in the old man's body. Smart people can use it to comprehend qi, stupid, and can also strengthen the body through this qi. Anyway, it is only good for you, no harm. Afterwards, Ling Xiao turned and left. Old ancestors, why do you bother? It is not worth it to spend so much for those disciples. Nothing is not worth it, but I feel that there are a few good students in this class of disciples, who originally wanted to accept them as disciples, but there are other things to do now. I am afraid there is no time to teach. Give them a little benefit, I hope they can be promoted successfully. Do you mean that Ling Yiheng? Or Ling Yixue? These two are indeed talents, but... Ling Xiao smiled, not knowing whether it was intentional or unintentional. His eyes swept across Ling Xiao's body, then he laughed and walked away. The annual Dabi is about to start, maybe there will be surprises this year. Ling Xiao looked at the trace of qi in her body in surprise. This is what he lacks most now. With the analytical ability of Xuanhuan, he can completely analyze the generation process of this gang gas. Although it was impossible to analyze the strength of Master Ling, there was no problem with his trace of anger. Ling Yiheng left, with an unpredictable smile on his face. Ling Yixue also drifted away, both looking forward and anxious. Ling Feng couldn't wait to leave with Ling Yu, his face was ecstatic. Ling Tai's hand also left. When he left, he touched his body, which was where the trace of qi was, and then looked at Ling Xiao again. Ling Xiao, today's shame, it will definitely be washed away. Of course, most of the disciples are still ignorant, and they don't understand the use of this lingering gas that Mr. Ling gave them. Some people even murmured secretly that Master Ling was really stingy this time. Ling Xiao shook his head, feeling that these people were really in the blessings and did not know the blessings. He also turned around and returned to his home. After speaking to Grandpa Hongqi, he entered the practice room again. Analysis. Mountain and river martial arts are running, and they begin to analyze Ling Xiaotian's lingering qi. After about an hour, the expression of ecstasy appeared on Ling Xiao's face. The entire process from the generation to the growth of this silk gang gas has been clearly analyzed by Wu Shanshan and the images have been made. Now that the analysis is done, it's time to condense yourself. Ling Xiao smiled a little, and then directly run Niu Magong Ningxia, and began to transform the true qi in the body into Ling qi according to Ling Xiaotian's method. It was a bit slow at first, but as he became more and more proficient in this process, his rate of turning gas into gang became faster and faster. His accumulation is long enough. Staying in the Wumai stage for such a long period of time, true qi has long flooded all corners of the body and even the cells. He could feel that when Ling Xiaotian's method was used to turn gas into gang, the source of real gas kept pouring out. This kind of reserves was probably among the most muscular among the warriors under the triple martial arts. It is estimated that Ling Yiheng can compare with him. The process of turning gas into gang is very smooth, almost natural. This is mainly because he has tried many times before, and although he failed in the end, he has accumulated experience after all. This time, through the understanding and analysis of Ling Xiaotian's silky qi, the process became more reasonable. However, the moment when all the true qi condensed into gang qi, he suddenly felt a crisis. Gang qi is not the same as true qi. True energy is gentle and soft, gang qi is violent and fierce. His body seemed to be torn apart by these gangles, and the pain was unbearable. Bah! Bah! Snapped, every one of his wounds split open and blood spewed out. If anyone saw it, it would be terrified. No, you must die like this. Ling Xiao suddenly understood that the reason why he did this might be because the qi in his body was too thick, so the amount of qi after it became naturally was much stronger than the average person. The Wuqi triple warrior can withstand the limit of qi, and he, obviously, has exceeded the limit. Unexpectedly, the true energy is too thick. It is also a trouble. Ling Xiao smiled bitterly, but the matter has come to this point. Of course he will not complain about himself. I took out Jin Chuang Yao and healing pill directly from the mountain and river map, and then used it like no money, over and over again. In half an hour, after experiencing a period of pain that is not as good as death, almost all the gold medicines and healing wounds have been used up. He finally felt that the irritability was tamed by him. There seemed to be a beast roaring inside. It's just that this beast can be controlled by him, what? Ling Xiao suddenly stood up, and roared loudly, bursting with countless blood-red strength in his body, and cracked the surrounding walls. If it were not a training room, I am afraid that these walls would have been directly collapsed. The red energy is the situation where the congestion in the body is forced out by the qi. If you let the congestion stay in your body, it won't be a good thing. Ha ha ha, I succeeded. I finally succeeded and turned qi into gang. I have turned all the true qi of a martial art into gang qi. Ling Xiao was very excited, although it only succeeded in turning one wumai into qi, but with this success, the next two wumai are simple. He believes that as long as he condenses the true qi of the three martial arts into gang qi, he can successfully break through to the fourfold of the martial arts. It doesn't even need any external assistance. He was very excited, because dreams that were once out of reach are now so simple. He used to think that as long as he can condense his qi at this life www.wuxiaspot.com will be satisfied, but now, he can have a higher dream. What gasification is for is nothing more than a small beginning. His left hand spread out, it was a soft breath, just like the steam after boiling the water. This is true gas. His right hand spread out. It was a compact and like a small tornado. Not only that, every breath seemed like a sharp blade, and it was powerful at first glance. This is gang qi. Although true qi and gang qi are both energy produced in the human body, they are far from each other. Previously, among the disciples below the elite hall, only Ling Yihan understood the qi, and now, there is one more person, that is his Ling Xiao. He who possesses qi is bound to shine on the day of the annual competition. Chapter 35, Generous Rewards. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The first wumai huachi is the success of gang, which provides Ling Xiao with valuable experience, so when condensing the second martial arts, the process becomes smoother and smoother. 3 more hours passed. Not only did he condense the second martial arts successfully, but the qi of the first martial arts also completely stabilized. By the third martial arts, I encountered a little problem. Because the third martial art to turn qi into gang once succeeds, it means that it will break through the fourfold of martial arts, so the difficulty has increased a lot. It just happens that Xiaoya Lang is not useful. It shouldn't be a problem to exchange it for a few gangqi pill. It will definitely become easier by then. Ling Xiao is not a person who likes to be horny. After all, he is getting closer and closer to the annual big ratio, and his strength is increased by 1 point. The more confident he is in getting the ranking, now, there is not much gain in dull practice. Gang Qi Dan is a must. This Qi is much more expensive than the Breakthrough Dan and the Qi Dan, and it is generally used by warriors who condense the Qi. Moreover, the refining material must also have a level 4 or higher, and possess a monstrous monster. He is just right now, thinking of this. He got up and walked out of the exercise room, but when I was about to go out, I suddenly thought of a problem. Now that I have succeeded in turning my gas into a gang, this is the biggest card of the year and I can't easily expose it. Something has to be done to cover up the qi. As soon as his thoughts moved, Wu Shanha responded, a list is shown in the mountain and river chart. The list contains templates that need to be displayed to others, from Wumai 1st to Wumai 9th. Ling Xiao couldn't help but feel happy. In this way, he didn't have to worry about being seen by others. Unexpectedly, Xuanhuan actually has such intimate effects. After thinking for a while, he chose the Wumai triple, non-gang template. He is now the triple peak of Wumai, a warrior with 2 Wumai gang qi, but the strength in front of outsiders is much lower. In this way, you can cheat a lot of people. At the critical time, it will certainly work wonders. You know, in the world of warriors, it is very difficult to be able to hide your strength. Although there are many martial arts with hidden strength, it is not easy to practice, and the effect is very limited. But the warrior template that comes with Wuha Soul of the Mountain and River doesn't have to worry about it at all. No need to practice, only need to choose. It shows that the template wants you to show the strength to outsiders, and as the level of mountain and river maps continues to increase, the hiding effect will become better and better. Generally speaking, it is the warrior who can conceal the strength higher than the 4 realms of Ling Xiao. For example, if he is now Wumai triple peak strength, then the warrior below Wumai 7th heavy peak cannot see the true strength behind his template. This is more than enough. After adjusting the template, Ling Xiao went to the medicine hall. Sure enough, the teacher in the pharmacy didn't really see that he had condensed qi. You should know that this teacher's worst strength should also be about Wumai sixfold. He couldn't see it, and certainly no disciples of elite hall could see it. Gang Dan is out of stock, and it will take a few days to refine it. No problem, master. How many gangqi can this Xiaoye wolf be exchanged for? It's probably 3 or 4 at most. You know, one gang of pill. Dan Xiao said it would cost 10,000 or 2 silver. Yes, then there will be master labor, and I will pick it up in a few days. Ling Xiao knows that it is useless to be anxious. It seems that he can only participate in the annual big than first. With his current strength, it is not a problem to break into the top 5. After leaving the medicine hall, Ling Xiao went back to consolidate his cultivation, until one day later, I received the registration notice for the annual dobby. I can't think of a child. At that time, Grandpa was still worried about whether you were eligible to participate in this year's annual competition. After all, this year's competition needs to be more than 2 times. Hong Qi looked at Ling Xiao with excitement. This child grew up watching him, and now he is getting more and more prosperous. He is naturally happy. Relax, Grandpa, this time I will definitely get the ranking. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. After all, there are a lot of disciples in Wumai Triple, as long as they can successfully become elite hall disciples. As long as they enter the elite hall, there will be hope in the future. Hong Qi is always unwilling to put too much pressure on Ling Xiao. Grandpa, I won't be reconciled without taking the top 3 this time. Ling Xiao put out her tongue, made a grimace, and then ran away. This is his real thought. Ling Yixue and Ling Yihang's strength is a bit of a mystery. He dare not say a steady win, but others, he is really not afraid. If you have Gang Qi, and the strength reaches the triple peak of Wumai and you can't pick up a guy like Ling Feng, it is really a shame. There are quite a few disciples who come to participate in the annual dobby. It is estimated that there are not tens of thousands but there are thousands. All of them are martial arts with more than 2 martial arts. When Ling Xiao arrived at the registration office, it was already crowded, and many people stood there talking about it. There are excited expressions on his face. This year's big then is arguably the best opportunity for a disciple Lei Yu Yulongmen. If you can get a place in the annual comparison, then you have the same opportunities as your children. Hey, because the Ling family expanded its staff last year, the number of participants in this year's annual competition is much better than in the past. The number is large, but the rewards are more abundant. Has the rewards been announced? How come I don't know? Stupid, senior brother Ming is a disciple of Tiancating. This time it's a specially invited judge. Naturally I know the reward. Brother Ming. Genius Hall disciple. Ling Xiao got a lot closer, and he also wanted to know what kind of rewards this year's debut will have. After all, this is about his future. The disciples of Tiancating are generally under the age of 20. They are cultivated as warriors who reach the peak of the triple martial arts and condense their qi. Obviously, this brother Ming is such a person. The disciples of the elite hall are disciples under the age of 20, who have attained triple martial arts. Generally speaking, the worst disciples in the genius hall are also stronger than the best disciples in the elite hall. However, individual monsters often appear in the elite hall, for example, a guy like Ling Yihang. Brother Ming, what is the reward of Yu reading www.yuukangshu.com, let us breathe it. The senior brother Ming smiled and said, this time, the elite hall annual competition, who can enter the top 100, can get 100 Chi-Chi-Dan reward. If you enter the top 50, you can enter the 3rd floor of the bookstore and choose an advanced martial arts. And get an additional breakthrough pill, a heart protection pill, and a pulse protection pill. In the top 20, in addition to the previous rewards, you can increase the chance to choose an advanced martial arts. Breakthrough Dan, Huxin Dan and Humai Dan will all add another one. Hearing this, many people could not restrain their excitement. It's too extravagant. You can get 100 Kikiden just by entering the top 100. It would be better if I could enter the top 20, 2 sets of advanced martial arts, 2 sets of breakthrough medicine. Yeah, these are treasures that many elite halls and disciples don't dare to dream about. Chapter 36, Strength Ranking. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hearing the rewards, Ling Xiao was naturally very excited. It's just that his excitement is not the same as others. He is mainly concerned about the advanced martial arts of the Ling family. He, who possesses the wushu soul of mountains and rivers, can take out all the martial arts there as long as he enters the third floor of the library. What 1 or 2 restrictions are meaningless to him, of course. The reward of immortality is also very good. After all, a set of 3 breakthrough medicines requires 3,002 silver. 100 Kikkoden will need 12,000 silver. Fools are not rare. Don't be noisy, or listen to Brother Ming continue to say, what rewards do you have for entering the top 10? After reaching the top 10, you can choose 3 sets of advanced martial arts, and the breakthrough panacea is increased to 3 sets. That this is not very attractive to Ling Xiao, but for ordinary disciples, adding a set of advanced martial arts and a set of immortality medicine, it is a profit. Unfortunately, there are only 10 people who can reach the top 10. Anyway, you have to try it. Yes, even if it's just a reward. Are you satisfied in this way? It's really too slow to grow, tell you. As long as you can get into the top 3, you can not only get all the rewards in the front, but also get a top martial arts and a reward. Gang Chi Dan. Hey! Actually reward top martial arts. There is that Gangchi pill, each one worth 2,000 silver. Brother Ming's remarks made many people cry out in amazement. What does top martial art mean? Means the best martial art in the world. For disciples who do not yet know the extraordinary state and the martial arts, top martial arts is the best reward. As for the Gangchi pill, it is the best panacea in the Gangchi stage that must be made with the blood of the 4th level monster as the material, and other materials can be added. Under 5 weights, it is absolutely superb. Why does Ling Xiao want Gang Chi Dan? Just want to use it to break through to the 4-fold of Wumai. Unexpectedly, this year's Big Than actually had such a reward. Well, this kind of thing is more beneficial, and it can still be used after breaking through the 4 layers of martial arts. As for the top martial arts, that's not to mention, absolutely no one is rare. The reward for the 2nd place is similar to the 3rd place, but there is one more reward for Gang Chi Dan. What about the 1st place? There must be a big surprise in the 1st place. To be honest, in addition to all the previous rewards, there is also a mysterious reward for the 1st place. I don't even know it. It is said that Mr. Ling will announce it personally at that time. It is a suspense. Brother Ming shrugged. How is that? Yeah, it's so appetizing, that everyone watching was a little crazy, not to mention them. Ling Xiao felt a little itchy in his heart. The other rewards are already so good, this mysterious reward is certainly not too bad. Next, when it was Ling Xiao's turn to sign up, he shook his head and shook out the confusion in his heart. If you don't want to think about it first, let's take part in this annual competition. As long as you can get the ranking, then you will naturally know what the reward is. 9588, this is the number plate that Ling Xiao got. There is no way, because he is late because of his practice, so this number plate is very intelligent, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, it will be the same qualification to participate in the knockout, but this number plate surprised Ling Xiao. Although he arrived late, he actually got the 9588 number plate. This shows that there are at least 9,000 people participating in the dobby, nearly 10,000. As I said before, disciples in the Elite Hall and the Genius Hall are age-restricted. They must be under the age of 20. If they reach the age of 20, they will have another appointment and no longer stay in the hall. But even so, there are still so many people, which is really a bit surprising. However, most of these people are non-influential disciples, and can also be said to be the bottom disciples, because the number of elite disciples has been kept at about 1,000. In other words, you can only become an elite disciple if you are ranked in the top 1,000, otherwise you will be kicked back to the bottom disciples. It is not too fierce for nearly 10,000 people to compete for the 1,000 places, and even if you join the elite hall, you need to squeeze into the top 100 at least to get better treatment. This competition is even more intense. As for the talent hall, it is even more terrifying, because the total number of disciples in Tiankating is only 100. Don't need one more. If someone is promoted to the Genius Hall, then someone must be sent back to the Elite Hall, this is the brutal competition for the survival of the fittest, and there is no chance for coincidence. On the competition square, there is a huge stone wall with 200 brands hanging on it. The name is written on the sign. This is the ranking of the Genius Hall, the Elite Hall and the Disciples at the bottom. After each year's annual comparison, these brands will change. Not only the order will change, but even the brands may be replaced. The annual ratio is mainly divided into two parts. One part is the contest between the Elite Hall and the Disciples, and the top 10 finalists are qualified to challenge the Genius Hall Disciples, and there will be a competition between the Disciples of the Genius Hall, and finally re-rank. Therefore, the reward mentioned by the older brother Ming was not the first in the Elite Hall, but the first including the Disciples of the Genius Hall. Above the stone wall, the brand hanging on the first position is very eye-catching because it is a brand made of pure gold. The name above is impressive: Ling Xiao. One of the 4 sons of Tianfeng City, the best among the disciples of the Ling family under the age of 20. I thought that when he was at Ling Xiao's age, he had already broken through the fourfold of Wumai. It is definitely a rare genius. No one can shake his position for 3 years since he became number 1 on the leaderboard. This guy is definitely the first genius of the well-deserved Ling family. Of course, this year may not be necessary. The second place is a brand made of silver, also very eye-catching, a disciple named Ling Yun. The third place is a brand made of bronze, which is also more eye-catching. This is actually a girl named Ling Xuan. The 4th to the 200th places are all wooden brands, and they all look similar. Ling Xiao took a closer look, and the top 10 were occupied by the disciples of Tiancating. This 11th place is Ling Yiheng, the Elite Hall first. This made him a little surprised. It seems that Ling Yiheng should have dealt with the disciples of Tiancating in private, so he would be ranked here. Looking at Ling Xiao, second in the Elite Hall, it is directly ranked after 100, 101. Ling Feng is 102, the Ling Tai hand is 103. Yu reading www.yuukangshu.com. However, this ranking is difficult to say. After all, the top 5 disciples in the Elite Hall are all the 3 peaks of the martial arts. Once they realize that the Qi is turned into a gang, it is possible to defeat the disciples of the Genius Hall. Am I on the list? Ling Xiao originally thought he could not enter the top 200, but when he saw the last name, it was him. It is impossible to have a duplicate name in the Ling family, because the duplicate name will be required to change the name, so this must be his doubt. Probably because they defeated Ling Chong and Ling Fei, and played against Ling Tai, so the ranking was advanced. In Ling Xiao's view, there is nothing more than this possibility. It's kind of interesting, although it's a pleasure to enter the 200, but it is still too late. This time, it is definitely an opportunity. Chapter 37, Masters Gathered. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After signing up, there are only the last 2 days left for the annual Dobby, but even if there are only 2 days left, no one wants to waste time, including Ling Xiao. Almost all the registered disciples began to retreat for a short time, hoping to make some breakthroughs in the last 2 days. After all, many people have accumulated a lot this year, and I am afraid that the breakthrough will be at the last moment. In addition, the trace of donation generously given by the old man Ling had a great impact on many disciples. Even because of this trace of gas, some people's strength has undergone qualitative changes. Ling Xiao is not the only one. In these last 2 days, Ling Xiao worked hard to condense the third martial arts into 90% Gang Qi. The last 10% is left, but there is no way to enter the country. It seems that we can only wait until Gang Qidan is refined anyway. Even if Dobby starts, it will take several days. The disciples who break through in the process of Dobby are not without fault. The night before the big one of the year, Ling Xiao stopped all cultivation, but planned to take a good sleep. There is nothing better than sleeping to supplement physical fitness. The crazy practice these days really requires a good rest. Now Xianjianbu Huajiao has been cultivated to the 3rd level. Niu Magong Ningxia also cultivated to the 3rd level. Ling Xiao's understanding of these 2 martial arts is getting deeper and deeper. He found that Niu Magong is actually a special inner power mental method, which can be used to display all the martial arts that have been devoured, and to make qualitative changes in these martial arts. For example, Meteor Star Fist will become Niu Magong Meteor Star Fist. 100 Steps Flying Sword Technique will become Bull Magong 100 Steps Sword of Qi. And there are also Niu Magong Qi Qi Ju, Nilmagong Chi Chi Ju, Nilmagong Chiang Shaki, Nilmagong Red Bull Shaki and so on. You only need to upgrade the level of Nilmagong Ningxia, and these martial arts powers will naturally increase with it, and you don't need to deliberately practice. The same martial arts, displayed in his hands, will have different powers, and this is his biggest victor. In fact, even if he didn't use gang gas, he wouldn't have to be afraid of dealing with the ordinary martial arts warriors. Tomorrow, it will be the birth of a new legend. Ling Xiao looked at the moonlight outside, took a deep breath, and closed her eyes. At the same time, inside a house in the main house of the Ling family, under the moonlight, a person's white clothes are like snow, a long sword moves with the wind, a sword stabs out, the distant boulder splits, and it turns into powder. The sword light is as powerful as the electricity. If this sword is stabbed on the Xiaoye wolf, who once caused the Li family's children to suffer a big loss, then the Xiaoye wolf is afraid to be injured. A seemingly simple sword, but as powerful as Li Xingyun's wild wind sword, it can be said that this sword is almost invincible in the face of the martial arts warriors. Fenger, you now have a basic understanding of the true meaning of following the willow sword, and you are not a fuss to ask for this advanced swordsman for your father. You can practice advanced martial arts at the peak of the triple martial art. 10% of the powerful people are rare. You are proud of yourself. Standing a few 10 meters away from the teenager, a middle-aged martial artist in his 30s, he saw a smile of relief when he saw the success of the young man's swordsmanship. The young man was Ling Feng, the third disciple of Elite Hall, and the middle-aged man was his father. More than that, the son is about to understand the trick of turning qi into gang. If he can break through in the battle, even if Ling Yihang is not in my eyes. Ling Feng said with a smile. Ling Yihang, let's not mention it, but that kid named Ling Xiao, you can easily defeat him. The middle-aged man said. Ling Xiao? Just that little beggar. Did the father really think his son would put him in his eyes? Ling Feng said disdainfully, my son's goal this time is the top 10 on the stone wall rankings. Ling Xiao is nothing. Ha ha ha, you are right, but you have fallen for your father. That if Ling Feng really had a trace of fear for Ling Xiao when registering before, then today when he thoroughly cultivated Fu Lu Jian with the wind to a great success, he has long ignored Ling Xiao in his eyes. Another place in the Ling family, in a wooden hut, Ling Yixue was sweating all over. There was a touch of excitement in the bright eyes. There was a man sitting on the windowsill, smiling directly at her. Yixue, I didn't expect that you actually condensed the qi before the day of the derby. In this elite hall, no one except Ling Yihang is your opponent. Lin Fifan, don't call it so intimate. I have nothing to do with you, and don't forget, this time, the top 10 of the elite hall is qualified to challenge the disciples of the genius hall. Then don't lose to me. All right. Sitting on the windowsill, it was actually Ling Fifan, one of the 4 sons of Tianfeng City, and the well-deserved first genius of Tiancating. Ha ha ha, I'm waiting. Ling Fifan stood up with a smile, his eyes deep. It's probably you who can beat me, and only you, who makes me like you. Don't be too proud, Ling Yihang is definitely your biggest threat this time. Well, Ling Yihang's kid is really good. I won't doubt the top 3, but if you want to beat me, it's too early. Ling Fifan smiled faintly. It seems that you have done a very detailed investigation of Ling Yihang, but there is another person, you may be very surprised. Ling Yixue's mind emerged from Ling Xiao. Who? Ling Yihang asked. After the conclusion of the derby, you will know that this person may be a strong competitor for you, me, and Ling Yihang. Oh, I didn't expect Yixue, you actually rated this person so high. I'm more and more interested. Okay, go back. Yixue, come on, as long as you can enter the elite hall, you can enter the genius. In the competition. With words, Ling Fifan's figure moved lightly, and the person had disappeared into the night sky. Ling family, Jui mansion, it is luxurious and wealthy. Ling Jiu's face was very gloomy at this time. Chong'er, I know you have no hope, but this time you must give me the first 50, otherwise don't ask me for this or that in the future. Dad, I will not only break into the first 50, but also take that Ling Xiao sacrifice flag. Ling Chong bit his teeth. Ling Jiu didn't pay any attention to him. but looked at Ling Xiao and said, "Iron Show, the last time you lost to Ling Xiao, it was because you were too arrogant. The scene, find it yourself." "Got it, Jui." Ling Tai clenched his teeth and said, "Whenever I meet Ling Xiao www.wuxiaspot.com I will let him taste what it would be like to humiliate me." On the day of registration, his dragon palm had not yet reached 10% of his power, but now, with the power of drugs, he has reached that level, not only in order to enter the top 10, but more importantly, for the sake of shame. In a secret practice room, Ling Yiheng suddenly opened his eyes. Breakthrough. Finally broke. The Wumai quadruple. Ling Yiheng actually broke through the Wumai quadruple in a critical time, and the trace of lingering spirit of Ling Xiaotian, the old man of Ling, helped him a lot. Ling Fifen. Your first seat should be changed. Among the disciples of the entire Genius Hall and Elite Hall, Ling Yiheng now has only Ling Fifen in his eyes, others, he has not taken it seriously. Chapter 38, Knockout. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This is destined to be a restless night. Countless children of the Ling family rubbed their hands and secretly prepared for the perfect opportunity for the Lei Yuemen. The seniors of the Ling family are paying close attention to all this. All they want is this effect. Only in this atmosphere can the best disciples be truly born. The horn of battle has sounded. The brave warriors sharpened their swords. Early the next morning, above the arena, although the sky is not yet fully lit, many people have gathered here. I was excited about the disciples of the Ling family who hadn't been able to sleep well all night, and also the middle and senior figures of the Ling family who had come to prepare the venue early in the morning. Ling Xiao came rather late. He slept a good night last night. By the time the square was open, it was already dawn, and he found that all the top 10 disciples in the elite hall were already present. All the disciples after the 10th place in the Tian Kai Hall came. However, there is only one goal for these people, that is, Ling Yiheng, and at most one Ling Yixue. After all, in their eyes, only these two people can pose a threat to them. Ling Xiao yawned and leaned against the stone wall to observe the situation of the whole sports square. There are probably dozens of Bai Wutai. He didn't count them carefully, but there were too many participants, and these contests are a must, especially in the knockout stage. Nearly 10,000 people played against each other. There are no such competitions, so I don't know when it will be. The competitions are all built with special materials. Unless they have gang gas and the moves are too strong, it is really unlikely to break. The so-called knockout is actually the selection of the top 10 of the elite hall and the bottom disciples. Then these 10 were mixed with 100 disciples in Tiancating for a real comparison. The reason is very simple. The disciples of the Genius Hall are too strong. Most of the disciples in the elite hall and the bottom disciples are simply not enough to watch. If all are mixed together, it would be a waste of the time of Genius disciples. Ling Xiao looked at the dozens of Genius Hall disciples. Sure enough, all of them are the triple peak strength of Wumai, and they all condensed out the qi. It's just that there is a difference in the degree of condensed qi. The worst one only condensed the first martial arts into 20% gang qi. The strongest one has already condensed the third martial arts into 50% gang qi. Of course, this is still due to the reason that Ling Fifen and others have not arrived temporarily. Otherwise it is estimated that the strength of these guys will be more terrible. Most of the disciples in Tiancating are very relaxed. After all, there are too few people in the elite hall and the disciples who can threaten them. At this time, they are pointing their fingers and are talking about the elite hall and the disciples. Listening to our host, the disciples in this elite class are of good quality. It is estimated that 5 or 6 people will pose a threat to our disciples in the talented class. I think it's Ling Yiheng and Ling Yixue, and the rest are not worth mentioning. Also, Ling Yiheng's guy has already ranked 11th on the Shibi ranking list, and has defeated many of our talented disciples in succession, and may even pose a threat to the extraordinary son. Well, Ling Yiheng is nothing. The extraordinary son can only be defeated by me. Suddenly, a rough voice rang, and one person jumped directly from the tens of meters away to the audience platform. Ling battle. It's Ling Zhan, ranked 4th in Genius Hall. The arrival of this man is too much. In addition, he is very famous, so it caused a lot of excitement in the crowd. Ling Xiao also looked at this battle. He is nearly 2 meters tall, and his body is very strong. His body seems to be full of horrible power, and his muscles are scary. In fact, these are all appearances. When Ling Xiao analyzed this guy with Wuha soul, he frowned. It is actually the fourfold of Wumai, and the qi has condensed to the level of 90% of the third Wumai. Worthy of being the fourth place of genius, this is too good. Ling Xiao couldn't help but get a little nervous. The fourth is already so, what about the top three? He had long known that the disciples of Genius Hall were terrifying, but when Ling Zhan appeared, he still felt a little surprised. Under the four sons, there are Ling Yun, Ling Shuang, and Ling Zhan. It should be said that it is the level of a quasi-sun. Large prince, alas, we can't even meet the prince, let alone the four princes in Tianfeng City. Ling Fifan, Ling Yun and Ling Shuang haven't arrived yet. It is estimated that they are not very interested in fighting in this elite hall. Yeah, that is to say, this battle is more lively, otherwise, in his position, there is no need to come. Ling Yihang, who was eating on a stone pier, just looked at Ling Zhan lightly, and could not see any expression on his face, still looking down on his own food. Ling Yixue was slightly ugly. Ling Feng and Ling Tai's hands were even more bleak. Faced with this battle, they have no chance of winning. Ling Xiao squeezed his fist. The stronger the opponent, the more interesting it is. To be honest, he hasn't fought with all his strength since he possessed Wuha soul. After comprehending Xiang Yunbu Huajiao and Niu Magong Ningxia, he didn't really deal with people. Dealing with Ling Tai hands is just to avoid. I want to take it seriously, even I am afraid. I don't know where I can go before breaking through the fourfold of Wumai. Okay, be quiet. The annual competition will start immediately, and we will decide the top 10 from the tens of thousands of elite halls and the disciples. A voice full of majesty and domineering sounded. This person should be the senior member of the Ling family who hosts the elite hall, but Ling Xiao really does not know. At the beginning of Derby, everyone was quiet. 10 people out of 10,000 are selected. This is really a very cruel competition, of course. Even if you can't make it to the top 10, as long as you can qualify within 1,000, you can stay in the elite hall, so don't look at so many disciples. Everyone's goals and objectives are different. Some simply want to enter within 1,000, some want to get the elite hall ranking, others want to enter the talent hall through this derby. Now, the first round of the game begins. Pay attention to the number, and then enter the corresponding competition platform. If it does not appear within the specified time, it is regarded as giving up. The way of the game is actually very simple. Yu reads www.yuukangshu.com to determine the victory in one game, and the two will face each other. The loser leaves the field and the winner stays. The game will not change until there are 1,000 people left. According to the ranking on the stone wall, the 1,000 people will be divided into 10 groups, and the arrangement of these 10 groups is in a zigzag manner. For example, the first-ranked Ling Yihang is the first group, the second-ranked Ling Yixue is the second group, and so on. And the 20th ranked disciple will be arranged to the 10th group. The benefits of doing so are obvious, so that strong disciples can stay as far as possible, and they will not meet in advance. These 10 groups, each group of 100 people, will ultimately decide one person to advance to the final, that is to participate in the duel with the disciples of the Genius Hall, but that must be after 1,000 people remain. Right now, these tens of thousands of people, except for the top 10 as seed players, do not need to participate. The rest of them have to fight down one by one. Chapter 39, Winning Streak. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The tens of thousands of knockout games, the attention of the audience, are often those in focus. According to the rules of the competition, if you lose 2 games in a row, they will be eliminated automatically. If you lose more than 10 games, you will be eliminated automatically. Therefore, there is still a chance of losing 1 game, but if you lose 10 games in a row, they will still be eliminated. If you can win 100 games in a row, then automatically advance to the list of 1,000 people. This rule is listed separately, mainly to protect some disciples who suddenly emerge. 100 games in a row is enough to prove their strength, and there is no need to continue to participate in such a big elimination, because it will consume a lot of energy. So what the general audience is most concerned about is those who can win a winning streak. At the beginning of the game, the match list is randomly drawn, that is to say, no one knows who his opponent is before the game starts. Many people are secretly expecting not to encounter the top 200 on the Shibi ranking, otherwise the chance of losing is greater. At the beginning of the game, the spectators often pay most attention to the elite disciples ranked 20 to 30. After all, if the top 10 do not participate in the competition, they may finally win a winning streak. However, after 20 games, there were only 2 people who still kept winning streak for the time being. One of them was Ling Xiao, who ranked 20th. His battle can be said to be extremely smooth. Almost every opponent was defeated by him in one move, and there was no power to fight back. This year's referee is not an ordinary person. They are all masters of the Ling family and experts who have hosted many major competitions. Their vision is very accurate. Who wins and who loses can often be seen instantly. So sometimes, the fight doesn't need to last too long. They think it's almost the same, they will stop. Ling Xiao is too strong. I don't know if I have a chance to hit the top 10 this time. It's definitely possible, you may not know it. Ling Xiao once privately challenged the people in the top 10, but he won. No wonder it's so powerful. But who is the other one who has won a winning streak? Why haven't you seen it? That man, I've heard it, called Ling Xiao. Recently, among the bottom disciples, he was a comet-like figure, but it's amazing how he has won 20 games in a row. That's right, one of those who has won 20 games in a row is Ling Xiao, who is expected to challenge the top 10, the other one is Ling Xiao, a really dark horse. It's his turn again. Let's go, and look at the excitement in the past. What is the difference between this guy and what he encounters in the future? Go. Although many games are being played at the same time, but it is really concerned, only Ling Xiao and Ling Xiao, because the two of them are the only ones who are likely to impact the 100-game winning streak. 21st round. No. Ling Xiao's figure flashed, and the man had already appeared on the competition platform. He did not deliberately conceal his body style. After all, this has already been spread, and many people know that his body is outstanding, and he can't hide it. The opponent is just a warrior with a double peak in the martial arts. Facing Ling Xiao, his momentum has already weakened by 3 points. Strong punch. The opponent roared, seeming to give himself a boost. He is performing an intermediate boxing technique with good power, but in the face of Ling Xiao, it is really not enough to watch. Go on. Ling Xiao just took a step forward slightly, and then, like a bull attack, his fists turned into double horns, directly drove the opponent to the stage. Hey, is that awesome? Yes, it's basic martial arts. It's so powerful. But how powerful is it? 9,588 wins, 21 games in a row. The referees saw surprise in their eyes, not only because Ling Xiao won 21 games in a row, more importantly, in these 21 games, Ling Xiao all defeated his opponent by one trick. Even more ridiculous than this is that he actually used the basic martial arts. He would dare to use a lot of strength when dealing with Wumai's double opponents. Nor can we blame others for saying this. The key is not to know whether it is a coincidence. Ling Xiao's luck in these 21 games is really good. The strongest is Wumai duo. Those who can't see Ling Xiao's powerful people will naturally find various reasons to slander him. Number. After a short break, the 22nd round began again. The opponent in this game is still an opponent of Wumai double peak, so Ling Xiao has almost no hesitation. After the referee started calling, he took the initiative to attack, still quite aggressive. It's still just a trick. The opponent was still flying out of the contest. It's not that he started ruthlessly, mainly this is the rule. Only when the opponent is defeated, or the opponent admits defeat, can it be regarded as a true end to the competition. That is to say, even if the referee makes a judgment, it is only a reference. If the contestants do not agree, they must continue to compare. In order to avoid trouble, he simply hit a punch. However, the disciples who were beaten by him were not seriously injured. Today, he is already very skilled in controlling the force. It's nothing extraordinary, just good luck. The opponent is actually Wumai double, so you can't have a Wumai triple. There is still dissatisfaction among the lively people. Number 9588 wins, 22 games in a row. The referee also seemed to be a little numb. Without the previous shock, he just announced the result mechanically. However, what makes those waiting to watch Ling Xiao's joke uncomfortable is that in the next 10 games, Ling Xiao still hasn't met a martial arts triple warrior. After all, there are too many people, and most of them are martial arts with double martial arts. Number 9588. 32 games in a row. Brother Z ran, this guy Ling Xiao is also very lucky. You both met two martial arts triple warriors, but he didn't touch any of them. Off the field, there are many people who use the competition to see the bustle, two of them, Ling Xiao, who also maintained a winning streak, and so far, have lost 2 games of Ling Yu. It was Ling Yu who was speaking. This woman really seduce a man, Ling Xiao got hooked up so quickly. Reassure Sister Rain, as long as I have the opportunity to encounter this Ling Xiao, I will definitely clean him up for you. Ling Xiao said coldly, but this guy has better luck. If he meets the Wumai triple martial arts one after another, he will be eliminated directly. If he fails, maybe I have no chance to teach him. Obviously, Ling Xiao sneered at Ling Xiao, although he knew that Ling Xiao had defeated Ling Tai by coincidence. Many people thought that battle was just an accident. Some people even said that it was Ling Tai who pretended to be a pig and ate a tiger for the purpose of the annual competition. Number. That's Ling Hu. Ling Hu, ranked 140th in the Elite Hall www.wuxiaspot.com Wumai Sanshio, this time there is a good show. Just when Ling Xiao was bored and prepared to go back and wait for his opponent to appear, the situation finally changed. Ling Tiger. Give a good lesson to that pretender. Yes, that kid is too rampant. Ling Xiao used the basic martial arts in order to save real energy, but did not expect to be treated like these by these people. This is really a bit wrong, but it is clear that many people are already unhappy with him. After all, a little beggar suddenly became a flamboyant figure, and many people were not very balanced. Ling Xiao, I've already seen your kid's discomfort. I'll end your streak. Chapter 40, Fengyun. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Like his name, Ling Hu is quite powerful, with a height of about 1 meter and 9, which is not much worse than that of Ling Xiao, and the body is muscular. Standing across from Ling Xiao, it doesn't look like a 15 or 16-year-old child at all, but like an uncle. He didn't even have to shoot, but just stood there. The momentum of the triple martial arts was enough to tremble the warriors below the double martial arts. Come on. The strength is not out of mouth. Ling Xiao stood there and hooked his hand, and the triple martial arts warriors could not pose any threat to him now. Arrogant. Then you dare to use basic martial arts, I will let you know how powerful. Tiger Fist. Ling Hu roared towards Ling Xiao, his body turned into a fierce tiger, and his momentum was very good. Although it is also an intermediate martial arts, it is much more powerful than the intermediate martial arts exhibited by the martial arts double martial arts encountered by Ling Xiao before. Between the outburst of true energy, the power of Ling Hu's punch has been exerted to the extreme. Speed and instantaneous explosive power are extremely scary. No wonder you have the confidence to end my winning streak. This punch is really good. It is estimated that ordinary warriors with triple peaks will not dare to challenge you. Faced with the attack, Ling Xiao was actually there while making an attack, while still talking. But meeting me is destined to be your tragedy, go on. Very bullish, the words fell. Ling Xiao fists out again. The field seemed to be a showdown between a tiger and a bull. Fuck, this kid is also courageous. In the face of Ling Hu's fierce tiger boxing, is he still using basic martial arts to learn? Humph. He's looking for death. Boom. This is definitely a collision between power and strength. A figure flew directly backwards, and then fell heavily on the ground. Ling Hu's sturdy body with a full weight of 180 pounds came directly with a facing backwards, and fell flat on the ground. His nose was bleeding, 2 incisors were knocked out. What? How can that be? The chin fell all around the audience. Number 9588 wins, 33 straight games. After the referee announced the result, many talents pondered it. This is too monster. Another trick. Basic martial arts again. 33 games in a row. Many people who couldn't look down on Ling Xiao immediately closed their mouths. Their face was beaten so badly. Doesn't it mean that Ling Xiao didn't dare to use brute force to deal with the martial arts triple warrior? As a result, not only did they do it, but they still succeeded. Go. Ling Xiao left with a somber face. Now he just wanted to meet Ling Xiao quickly, and then personally teach Ling Xiao, otherwise, Ling Xiao's prestige would soon surpass him. Brother Xiao, that Ling Xiao is not easy to deal with, we are afraid we won't win. When Ling Yu said these words, he slipped a cunning smile on his lips, which was obviously a provoke. Well, don't worry, that Ling Hu is only ranked 140, and I only learned intermediate martial arts, but I am ranked 20th, and I learned advanced martial arts. Ling Xiao was really irritated. Well, men, even if he is only a 15 or 16-year-old boy, he doesn't want a man whom a pretty girl says to be stronger than himself. What's more, Ling Xiao didn't find out how powerful Ling Xiao is. The reason why Ling Xiao can win in a row is because his opponent is too weak. Ling Yu smiled and said, Okay, Xiao, don't be angry. Let's continue our own game first. There will always be chances. Next, more and more people follow Ling Xiao, 34 winning streaks. 45 consecutive games. 60 games in a row. 90 games winning streak. Miracle. Absolutely a miracle. The referees were shocked, until the 90 round, because many of the less powerful disciples have been eliminated, so the rest are basically the martial arts triple martial arts. Ling Xiao has encountered 10 martial arts triple warriors in a row for a period of time. Moreover, the basic martial arts are quite powerful. Perhaps it was stimulated by Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao suddenly became fierce. So much so that by the 90th round, most of the disciples took the initiative to concede defeat after taking office, so Ling Xiao won more easily. Both men have 90 games in a row. It hasn't been touched so far. In fact, according to the idea of the referee team, I don't really want these two to meet, because they are all the best among these tens of thousands. If they can successfully enter the next round with a 100-game winning streak, it will be a good thing. Between meals, Ling Xiao and Ling Xiao were the most discussed. Senior brother, Ling Xiao has always defeated the enemy with basic martial arts, and is neat. But Ling Xiao has forced many people to admit defeat by his strength alone. You said that if these two people are right, who can win? In my opinion, Ling Xiao has a better grasp of winning. After all, Ling Xiao knows advanced martial arts, and Ling Xiao's basic martial arts are used well. After all, they are only basic martial arts, and they are useless when they meet Ling Xiao. Well, this is the truth. Brother really sees the ground. I also think that Ling Xiao is good, but unfortunately I didn't learn good martial arts. I don't think so much. I think Ling Xiao is more confident in winning. At this moment, Ling Xiao has appeared fans. Why do you say that? I saw the showdown between Ling Xiao and Ling Tai's hand that day. Ling Xiao used the light skill method, even Ling Yixue couldn't catch up with it, and Ling Xiao hasn't used it in this knockout. How to do it? You are wrong to say so. Ling Xiao has not used his advanced martial arts until now. He has always used intermediate martial arts. There was fierce fighting on the stage, and a controversy also started. In the past, Ling Xiao did not have much status in the Ling family, and even supporters were impossible. However, this time the 10,000 knockout game, he has some supporters. Most of these people's experiences are similar to him. They are recruited from outside, and they are also bullied, so in their view, Ling Xiao is simply their hero template. After eating and resting for about half an hour, the game continued. At this time it was getting dark. It is estimated that when Ling Xiao completed 100 victories, today's matchup should be over. The rest will continue tomorrow. The warriors are also humans and need rest. However, what surprised him was that in the 91st game of the game, he actually encountered Ling Yu. This girl who once made him hate and love, but now only disappointment and disdain. Standing on the stage, Ling Xiao looked at Ling Yu lightly. Unexpectedly, Ling Yu, the little beggar who was bullied by you in the past, has now become your nightmare. He, brother Xiao, you reading www.yuukangshu.com. Don't make the words so unpleasant. Speaking of it, I was a little boy before, and I don't understand how to cherish the little beggar. It's a bit sloppy, but I didn't do too much. Thing. Ling Yu looked at Ling Xiao with a smile, but walked slowly past, meaning that she was completely undefended. What's the matter with these two people? This is a contest, and it's not a chat conference. Why are they still chatting? The following people were a little unhappy, and the actions of the two on the stage made them bored. Really, do you really think I don't know? It was you who poisoned the food that killed several of my brothers that time. Brother Ling Xiao really loves to joke. How can I do that kind of thing? Do you think people are like that kind of person? Ling Yu smiled and walked to Ling Xiao's side, and then actually went to take Ling Xiao's arm. There was a strange glory in her eyes. Mystery Dementor.